First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you could never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT. You found us at postwrestling.com, whatever podcast app you're using right now in your ears. And of course, we are
live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello. Hello there. It's Tuesday, December 9th, 10:05, 10:09 now, p.m. Hope you're having a holly jolly December. See, Davie, you got the Christmas tree up, feeling festive.
Braden always says the exact time when I'm slightly late, I've noticed.
That's not what I have no, I'm just saying the time.
Like, it's 10:00, it's 10:09.
It was probably my fault.
No,
I always go nip for a pee
restroom.
and then you go, like, we always try to give us a break. We're both watching wrestling for 2 hours, and then we got to talk about it for what always goes 2 hours. So yeah, we're 10:09 p.m. is a fantastic time. So,
there we go.
Yeah. Welcome to the show. How we doing? How we doing this?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm not bad. How are you?
We're pretty good. We just did a show on Sunday. We were talking all about some NXT, but as we said a few weeks ago, it's just weekend after weekend of wrestling, and then holidays for some, and then more wrestling, and we'll always be here for you no matter what. And you know why? We are your NXT friends. And we are upNXT, but we are also known as the BDE and Poisonrana, and you can check out all the other stuff while you're listening. Poisonrana.ca for all the links. Instagram, Facebook, we have everything. Follow us in whatever podcast app, because we love to create content, and we're two guys up here in Tirana who watch a lot of wrestling and talk a lot about it. So appreciate the love wherever you may be worldwide here at postwrestling.com. It's a big week for wrestling. It's a big, we had a deadline, but the real deadline, Saturday night, the GOAT, as they say, John Cena is retiring. He's hanging up the pump up Reeboks, the jorts, putting them in the rafters.
And he's already sacked off the fake tan. Having gone back and watching some Cena earlier today for our show, I keep on trying to be like, why does Cena look so weird today? I know he's older and he's got the hair, but it's how pale he is. I think it's striking when watching some old Cena. He's
not going through the old spray tan like he used to, I guess. But he's got hair.
He does have hair, luscious hair.
Yeah, so that's good. But it's a big week. Like, this is a big one. The Saturday night's main event. Not his last PLE match. No, not that. He already had that. Not his last Monday Night Raw. He already had that too. But his last match ever this week. We, for the last, what feels like 2 years almost, we've been doing a show called The Champ Is Here. And if you're feeling very in the spirit of John Cena, the Doctor of Thugonomics, check out some of the episodes. We have tons of them available for free involving here. If you search Post Wrestling in your Apple or Spotify, whatever, the first episode we ever did was in August of 2024. And we were joined by our friends, Nate Milton and Andrew Thompson. Shout out the NWA. Shout out the youngest in charge. Sending all the love to those two fellas. We did a great show in 2024. And that was our first one. We spent hours, the four of us, talking about John Cena and like the beginning, John Cena moments, the rap album as well, and so much. And that was episode 1. We've now done 13, going on 14 episodes in this series of reviewing John Cena's entire career, going through his title wins and reigns and everything kind of in between. So we have watched so much. We could probably answer anything you want to talk. We're done talking about John Cena, but we still have plenty
We're
more.
We're not.
Yeah, we're not. Because we still have
be.
many.
We can't be.
We can't give up, but we're very excited. And we have put up some episodes for free. So search Poisonrana in your podcast feed and hit that follow. Last week, I put up episode 10, where Scrump from the PWT cast, who is a huge CM Punk fan and friend of the show, joined us. And I put that episode up for free. We talk all about the epic John Cena CM Punk rivalry. Yes, Money in the Bank 2011. So we go into much detail about that era, the two lovebirds of wrestling, John Cena and CM Punk, that whole rivalry. But if that's not enough and you like free stuff, tomorrow morning on the Poisonrana free feed, I'm dropping one of our biggest episodes yet. Davie and I did this together without any guests because we knew this would take forever. Maybe the biggest rivalry, the biggest feud in wrestling history, at least the buy rate would say so. But this was an awesome show, and we're putting it out for free. Davie, we that's one of our longest shows.
It's got to be, apart from like our like streams we've done, you know, when we've done games and all that. I think this is the longest that just you and I have sat together talking wrestling.
Like I think we had to pause halfway and finish it the next day. That's how long this show was. But we go through the entire, like way before they even had the WrestleMania 27 stuff with The Rock throwing jokes at Cena and vice versa. And then WrestleMania 27, 28, 29, and so much, the wrist promos and everything. So we're putting that out for free if you're in the John Cena spirit to listen back to us go through his entire catalog. So we're definitely in the John Cena mood. We'll go through Saturday night's main event for sure. We're going to go through a preview of that before getting to NXT. But we do have a new episode of The Champ is Here. So today I've spent a lot of time watching John Cena versus Ryback.
Yeah, this is it's difficult because the Rock Cena show was so long and covers the 13th title, but we haven't actually talked about the 13th title reign. So this is a bit awkward. It's The Champ is Here, episode 13B, and this is covering John Cena versus Ryback in the forgotten 3 Stages of Hell match. It covers a more remembered salmon suit worn by Mark Henry, the fake retirement, and then the big SummerSlam match, John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. One of my favorite SummerSlam matches, actually, and really builds things up for Daniel Bryan's ascent and the build to WrestleMania 30, whether that was the destination they wanted to go in the first place or not. But yeah, this is going to be awesome. Looking at the 13th reign as champion. And I've noticed during this show, they're really pushing that this is, no one's won the WWE title more than Cena at this point. This was just his 11th reign as 11th WWE title. And then we're including like the World Heavyweight Championship and that as well. So we'll be diving deep into that. And we're going to be joined by Boris from A+ Productions.
Yes,
who's going to be joining us.
Very excited about this. We're going to talk all about this run. Ryback rules, feed me more, and so much more. Yes, the salmon suit. The best thing Mark Henry ever did was the I'm retiring promo.
Yeah. Yes.
And then he didn't retire. Some say he's still in the business, lurking around these halls these days. But yeah, we're going to talk all about John Cena. We have watched it all. So if you want to follow along, the whole series of episodes are on our Patreon, but we have released some free ones. So search Poisonrana podcast apps, give us a follow, and check out all the other content that we do. Tons and tons of shows, and we're very excited. By the end of this series, we got to do a best match ever, John Cena. But we've pretty much been going through the best. And I mean, hey, maybe Saturday night we'll be talking about that match one day of just significance of it. But yeah,
we've got a lot more shows we've done recently. We've just done a couple of episodes of Up Yours, which is the show where we go to our world champion patrons to see what they want us to talk about. We reviewed Fall Brawl 1993 from WCW with Jesse from the Six, talking about that War Games event, a not so well received event.
An awful
from
pay-per-view.
us. It was pretty terrible, but made for a fun review. We also reviewed The Flash with Emmy Award-winning Rob McDonald. This continues our Batman journey, as it is kind of technically a Batman film. We reviewed that last week, and we've got so much more coming up in the month of December. Not only The Champ is Here, we've had episodes of Was Next, which is our retro NXT review. We're going to be reviewing Home Alone 3 with John Pollock next week. So get your feedback in for that. And to keep in the festive spirit, Holiday Touchdown, a Bills love story. The hallmark Buffalo Bills Christmas movie.
We're all over the place this holiday season, but we keep you entertained and appreciate all the listeners and anyone who wants to sign up. It's $5. You want to buy us a pint for the holidays? You want to buy yourself a friendship? Become a friend. $5 to get access to hundreds of these podcasts, movie reviews, the wrestling shows, all that stuff. $5 gets you all of them. And if you want to get crazy, you want to get nuts, as Michael Keaton would say, you can become a world champ patron, family member patron, I should say. And you get to not only access to all those shows, but behind the BDE, the X-rated show where we go balls to the wall. But plus, you get to pick something and join us and talk to it. So get yourself the gift that keeps on giving, and check out the Patreon. $5 for a friend. Check it out, and you will not be disappointed. But you know what? Like I said, I'm putting out that episode of The Champ is here for free tomorrow. But if you like free things, we want to give you another gift on December 21st, Sunday. Come hang out, because you are cordially invited to the Poisonrana Christmas party. Oh, yes. We're going to get whammed. We're going to have the pigs in blankets, maybe. We're going to have the eggnog.
I just bought a bottle today of the old Tom before it runs out.
Was it last year I left the whole big, huge bottle of rum chata on the subway down, on the tube down?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was fun. Won't do that again this year, but I will get the rum chata. But very excited about the Christmas party. You are all invited. It's going to be a big stream in the afternoon/evening of Sunday, the 21st of December. If you can pop in for a little bit, pop in, say hi. We will have friends and guests on. And more importantly, Davie has forced the BDE champion, Fire Frank, to defend the title on the Christmas party stream. And if he doesn't show up, we will automatically be walking out with a new champion. But anyone could walk out as champion, because I believe you're saying that even if you view and hang out during this Christmas stream, you will be able to play virtually.
That's my goal. Yes,
okay.
that's what I'm hoping for. I want to make this. Yeah, we'll have some guests in the chat room live, but if you are watching and playing along at home, you should be able to play the quiz as well, and we should be able to see your scores, etc.
Excellent. So very excited about that. We always have fun and play little party favors. So if you are free on the 21st of December, join our stream, get your eggnog, get your little your drinks, your snacks, and hang out with us as we talk about the year that was, plus holiday traditions, some games, and again, new BDE champ, which it could be. I mean, Frank could retain. So
I don't think he will this time.
You're just rigging it. So,
yeah,
you're gonna rig it. So
I think we're gonna put someone else in retirement this year.
Whoa, big words. So I'm also entering myself into this game.
Yeah.
So and this is not like Davey's not going to cheat. He's not going to show me the answers. There's none of that. I'm going to enter to win back what is rightfully mine. So
you're going to be like JBL coming off the commentary desk, stepping into the ring, and immediately out of there. Yeah.
No, I think more like Bryan Danielson.
Okay.
Back. Yeah.
Okay.
My neck hurts all the time, and I'm sitting calling the shots, but I'm going to enter and win this thing. So yeah, Frank, your days of championship holding are numbered. The flame's going out. It might not be me, but maybe it could be you. So tune in for more. Follow us for updates on the Poisonrana Christmas party. Very excited on December 21st. But everyone's looking at this date, this Saturday of Saturday night's main event, John Cena's last match. Do you feel old yet?
Because I remember 02 so clearly, him coming into it. And by 02, a lot of my friends had already fallen out of wrestling. So John Cena's career still feels like he's one of the newer ones for me, even though it's been going 25 years. I'm starting to feel a little emotional about it. You know, it's been a hell of a run. I think similarly to to when we did Sting's best match ever, we are watching a lot and we are seeing a lot of his career building up to this moment. And and then you're just seeing, all those talking heads. There was I'm blanking on the guy's name, the guy that makes the music, but the little video he did the like fan who's done a bunch of like music and wrestling and stuff.
Okay.
I'm blanking on his
Josiah?
name. Josiah, yeah. Josiah Williams, is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Like his video and all that sort of stuff. Like, yeah, it's been I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this final match. Still just I found the whole year to be quite odd. I think they did course correct. They did the right thing with the, just abandoning the heel turn and having Cena as a face, but I'm still finding it really odd that this is arguably, they tell us he's the GOAT. Like they position him at this point bigger than Austin, bigger than Hogan. Like he's won it more than anyone. And he's the Babe Ruth. He's the Tom Brady. He's the franchise, and I still feel it's a little underwhelming the way they've done this retirement tour. And I did watch the Tom Rinaldi interview yesterday, which was good. It's interesting. It's about an hour. It's worth a watch. I wouldn't say he kind of exposes lots of stuff. It seems like it was filmed during his heel turn still, because he's not talking about the heel turn at all. He's like, sit down and talk to me after the year's over, and I'll say some things about that, which I think he's talked about a bit more in like the Joe Rogan interview and things like that. But he says he was willing to do 200 dates. He was basically, I can't keep just doing these, like the odd appearance here and there. So it's either like I disappear and then it's suddenly like, oh, John Cena had his last match and no one really realized. Or I use this year, 2025, where I don't have much going on, to really focus and tell a story and do this retirement. And he pitched to do over 200 dates, which is what it used to be when he was a full-timer with the live events and things like that. And they're like, oh, John, we don't really do that many dates anymore. What did it end up being? 32 or 36 dates. How does that sound?
Wow.
And he's like, oh, great. That means I can still pick up some other projects and do some other things. But it sounded like he's saying he was super willing to do more. And I just find it like, you've got your final match this Saturday. The match is set with Gunther. We couldn't have one face-to-face between the two.
On Raw.
Like, I know he did Boston. I know he did MSG. But, like, couldn't we have just had that? Like, had a bit more of a build? I think Gunther's been doing a great job. I thought the promo on Raw was short and sweet and to the point. And
yeah, I really liked it.
You're the best sports entertainer. Well, I'm the best wrestler, and I'm going to make you do something you've never done, and that is give up.
I'm going to squeeze.
Yeah.
Thought it was good.
Gunther's been fantastic.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. Didn't you want one more fine speech?
I wanted John Cena one more time. Yeah.
Some sort of face-to-face. And by the sounds of it, he was willing to do these extra dates. And it just, I don't know. The creative this year has just been so strange.
Yeah.
In WWE. It's been so lackluster. And John Cena is your biggest character, biggest name you still have right now. And you could have carved a story out for this whole year. And we've had some cool moments. Like, I love the AJ match. There's been some fun matches along the way, but they've all felt really isolated and almost in its own little pocket universe, separate from everything else on the show. And I just feel he should have had something bigger.
Yeah. I think if you were to ask most fans or people who, I don't know, like anyone, how would you book John Cena's retirement tour? Whether you asked this year, last year, 10 years ago, Saturday night's main event. that's first of all, that's it.
Like, on Peacock, that we're sacking off as soon as we can anyway. It's
like, first of all, WrestleMania probably be where you do it, or you make your own pay-per-view for this event. Like, okay, comparing it to the last big retirement that comes to mind, Sting. They turned Revolution into like, yo, this is Sting's the final encounter essentially, and like it all is around that. And I think, okay, they've done a great job of building now. I'd say in the last 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks of this Saturday night's main event. Of course, we're the NXT guys, so we love the fact that they're incorporating some of the NXT people that we'll get into. But like, it just from the beginning of the year, the clips I saw from these interviews, because he's done a few now, Joe Rogan, and then this one, they've been pushing, like, he does not want to talk about, I think it was a Van Vliet as well. He does not want to talk about the heel turn. He says, I don't want to talk about the things in the past. I don't want to talk about, oh, this could have done this. I don't believe in that, is what he says. Because clearly something happened. And then he made it clear that him and Cody really wanted to make sure they delivered at SummerSlam. Like, they knew they muffed that up. They were like, we gotta really do something big at SummerSlam. And I'd say that was one of the highlights of the year. That was great.
Great match.
Right?
Yeah.
But the whole, what else did he say? The clip I saw was him saying, WWE wanted me to turn heel just for the moment. I said, sure, let's do it. They had nothing planned. I watched the Unreal. They were like, yeah, we came up with this in 30 minutes. Yeah.
Which is weird, because as it happened, you go back to Bad Blood when The Rock comes out at the end of the show, and that's why we didn't main event with the Hell in a Cell. We main evented with whatever the Bloodline match was, just so Rock could come out and do 1, 2, 3, and everyone's going, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
And didn't amount to anything. We figured it was something to do with this Cena turn that then came, but they decided that week of, because they wanted The Rock on the show to boost ticket sales in Toronto, because we're struggling here in Canada. It's all been very strange. And I think, there's a character like Goldberg who they didn't really think do much about, and he was a bit miffed about it, because he said the same thing. I wanted to do more. I wanted to sell this story. They're like, no, we're good. It's not like they're firing on all cylinders at the moment. I know the business might say otherwise, but their programming isn't. Like, it's been quite stale a lot of the year. Why wouldn't you have Goldberg on for a couple of months to really build up that feud, to make those segments on TV more interesting? Why wouldn't you have Cena? Like, it felt like Cena was really top heavy. He did so much at the beginning of the year, and now we're amping up to his final match. He's barely there.
You can literally
he's
not
setting
see
up
him.
feuds on Twitter.
It's weird.
It's very strange. And like, I would have thought, like, use him sparingly at the start of the year, and then really, like, this is the time I'd have him be champion, right? Like, you have him as the champion going into this last match. Maybe he does the heel turn, loses at Mania, and is a heel until SummerSlam, when he turns good and wins, and then he has the title from then to now. I don't know. There's so many what ifs. I find it really odd that they dropped the ball with this. And I think, as I said, I'm not saying it's a complete failure. I think obviously the merchandise has been great. The shows have been selling well. There have been great matches as well. Like Cena, I had kind of written him off after that Austin Theory match, and I think he's proved that he can still hang. Putting the work in. Like, the Cody match was great. The AJ match. There were like elements of other stuff. There was bits of the Punk stuff I enjoyed, but didn't reach quite where it could have been. It's just been very strange. And I hope they don't whiff it on this Saturday night's main event. I hope that there's not a real time restriction and it feels rushed or anything like that. We've got 4 matches announced for the show. I really hope this should have the majority of the final hour. If you think video package, entrances,
it should be all for him.
A decent match, and then the time afterwards to do some sort of post-match celebration. Is
this only 2 hours? Like, no go over, like we learned from Goldberg,
it's not on TV, is it? So it's on Peacock. So I don't know.
It's crazy.
I'm hoping it's a little looser.
So how do we watch it here in Canada? Just YouTube? Is it on?
Yeah,
they did that for the last ones.
Which just
so bizarre. John Cena's last match. This should be treated like a huge Netflix box office.
Like, I know he said even that January 5th Raw, the Netflix Raw anniversary, that could be the big one, right? It's
so weird.
Netflix can go as long as you want and have this whole show built around Cena. It's
like I feel so many ways about it. Okay, because we have been watching so much of him in the last 2 years, kind of leading up to this. Everything's still kind of fresh because I've revisited stuff from the past, and like, okay, we got to shovel through a lot of Super Cena and some stuff we don't necessarily like, but in between, there's a lot of great matches, great moments, memories, etc. from this guy's career, and it is going to be like I'm very excited to watch this show. And now they've added NXT, so it's made it even like more appealing for me personally. But and the matches themselves, like really interesting. But like, yeah, I'm in the feels of like I've watched this guy. I feel so much older now that this guy's retiring because he was the guy who cut promos on people like, oh, you're going to Hollywood and oh, you're retiring and part timers. Like he's just finally giving up. And I felt like two different ways about this whole retirement tour because there's been some good stuff in it, like that SummerSlam match, but the WrestleMania match was terrible, like awful, maybe one of the worst ever. Like it seemed like the moment John Cena turned heel here, we were there in the Skydome. It was one of the best WWE moments, biggest WWE moments, craziest moments. And we got to witness it live. And it was like, oh my God, earth shattering. Everyone was telling everyone. It was on the news that this happened. And they just cared about Travis Scott more than actually thinking up about what the hell they were going to do. And they fumbled it so bad that they kind of did some damage control with like him again, SummerSlam. And then I don't know, there was the AJ stuff was really good. The Punk stuff I didn't really like. Orton stuff, I don't know. I was expecting like Punk to be the last match, honestly, if you're looking at it that way. But I'm expecting a good match because the AJ match was really good. The SummerSlam Cody match was really good. And I feel like there was some good stuff in this run. It wasn't all bad. But then if you do sit and look at what we were watching week to week for a while, when he was on TV week to week, wasn't that good. So like it's a weird
not as the heel, which
it was bad.
But they had him mainly on TV when he was the heel.
And now he's not even on TV. So
and then since then he did, the open challenge with Sammy and stuff. He had some great stuff on TV after then. And then it
so bizarre. Yeah.
Weird.
I would have just imagined like this guy got his own pay-per-view, rolling out the gold carpet. Like who knows? Maybe Trump gives him a peace prize before or after his match on Saturday. We'll see in DC. But I'm still feeling it. I just maybe now it's feeling in because it's like, hey, this literally is his last match, and that'll never happen again. He's made it really, really clear that it's not going to happen again. But I've been loving some of these interviews and the clips I've been watching of him. He's always very robotic to me, but he definitely comes across like with some honesty about like certain things. But he definitely does not want to talk about this heel run. Like I feel like he knows they fucked up.
He doesn't want to throw them under the bus because he's still like very much a company man. He talks about in the Rinaldi interview, he just says like he was meant to like enroll the day he became like the day he started training to be a wrestler. He was on his way to like enroll and join the Marines. And then there was a wrestling gym there. And his friend was like, hey, have you ever thought of, you like wrestling? Have you ever thought of doing this? And he says, he looked through the window, saw the ring and was like, oh yeah, maybe this is what I should be doing. And said he did it as a hobby. He'd work any job during the week, just so at the weekend he could get in that wrestling ring. And there was some stuff that was like really interesting. He talks about almost getting fired, and basically he was given the heads up. They were like, hey, Christmas comes around and we have those cuts and your name's on the list right now. And he said, which I found interesting because I think especially this last year where we've got, a lot of the, I'd say, bad faith takes from old timers, mainly criticizing AEW in order to get clicks. But all those sort of old school mentality things where Cena was like, I was told to keep my ears open and my mouth shut and shake hands and be respectful and all that. And it just meant I was fucking bland and I'd never take a risk on anything because I'm being polite and I'm waiting my turn. And when I was rapping on the bus and Stephanie was like, oh, you should do that on TV. That's when I was like, oh, fuck, I should start I should start making some noise and start pushing my weight around a bit more and things like that. And the mentality almost reminded me of the Young Bucks, like when you've seen their career and if you've read their book, where they're like, everyone was telling us we shouldn't be spamming super kicks in a match, but then us spamming super kicks got us lots of cheers and people seem to like us. So old timers saying one thing, but I'm seeing what is actually working for me. And I found it interesting hearing Cena say that kind of thing where he was like, oh, I just realized, fuck it. Like, fuck these rules that have been made and I'm going to try and break through.
Yeah, again, I do find whenever I just picture him in his suit being so Mr. Roboto, but then he does have some, he tweets a lot of wisdom sometimes. If you see his Twitter feed, always positive energy, and I'm all about that. But yeah, listening to I did listen to the Rogan one, but then I did listen to a few clips from all these other ones that he's been doing, and yeah, he is super inspirational. He's like one of the more famous people going right now, wrestling, movies, and everything, and he still kind of seems like a genuine dude. So other than some other things like him talking about Vince and stuff, but what are you gonna do? It's wrestling, I guess. Is basically like he doesn't seem to care, but yeah.
Well, I think even this time round he's spoken a little bit more eloquently about it. Sure. Like he's basically saying like, well, no, I mean, stuff I've heard, he's like, yeah, I still like love the guy. He's done a lot for me. Like he's like I have that relationship with him, but that doesn't excuse him from things. And there should, like, if things are proven, there should still be repercussions.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thought he had some, like, I don't know, he seems almost like he's excited that it's over. He's probably feeling emotional about it and everything, but like he's in a lot of movies and shows and all that stuff. So I'm sure we're going to still see a lot of him in the DCU for one on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So he'll still be on Netflix. He'll just,
we'll see.
Yeah. Or Paramount, right? Paramount, we'll have to see. One of the things I loved, I clipped it and put it up on our Instagram from that interview, is him talking about the rap album, platinum selling rap album, as I'm a big fan of that, and we've talked about it on many of the Champ is Here episodes, but he explains everything in this like 1 minute clip, and it's amazing. Like how they gave him a hip hop theme and he was like, this sucks, can I just do my own? They're like, yeah, whatever. And then he did. He spent 10 grand, got the beat, got his cousin trademark, and they did the song, and he's like, all right, play this. That's insane. And then fast forward when they realize this guy's going to be our machine, and then think he does like the Marine taping and everything. That's when they knew, they planned out WrestleMania 25. He's going to be our champion. He's going to put out a rap album, and he's going to have a movie. It's going to be a hell of a year as we push like our guy. And he said there was 70 unreleased tracks for that album. And now I know someone out there listening, you're listening right now being like, whatever, I didn't like that album. But there's many more who are like, yo, wait, what? 70 more?
Well,
he did say
his question: Are you gonna release them? Are you gonna release a new album? He's like, nope. That was what you got is the best I got. Like, I had 70 things. Doesn't necessarily mean they were good. But
oh man, so I mean, at least release a few. Like there's got to be some gems in there. But yeah, I thought that was very, very interesting. And as the interviewer brought up, like who releases like platinum album and never releases an album ever again? Like that's crazy.
They say he's the only person to have done that. I
don't know how you fact check that, but like, yeah.
But Cena was like, yeah, I'm the only guy who's done that.
That's crazy. Like, yeah, okay, an artist could do platinum and then die, but like, there's gonna be best ofs and live albums and this and that. There has been nothing. So that is super impressive. So yeah, I'm gonna be bumping Bad Man a lot this week for sure. But yeah, that's crazy. 70, at least release like 10 when you're old and gray. Release the tapes, the Cena tapes. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. Just shows the guys. The guy. On top of that, release. What's the movie he filmed that they never released?
The Wile E. Coyote. That
Bugs
is
Bunny.
Being released. That is
yeah. Oh, it is being released.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. Release that too. Fuck it. But yeah, the GOAT retiring this Saturday on Saturday night's main event. And is he main eventing? Because he really confused people on his interview with Jimmy Kimmel, where he says, I'll be opening the show. And then Jimmy's like, oh, so you're giving the rest of the show. And he's like, actually, I'll be closing the show. It's like, okay, well, wait a second. Explain yourself, John.
He didn't say he'd open the show. He said
he's going to be on the show, beginning of the show. And then said, I will be closing. That's not what
he said. No, that's not what he said. He said, normally I like to leave and not stick around, but this time and he's like, oh, so you can do your thing and then go and hit the showers and get out there. He's like, oh, no, I'll be closing this one.
Oh, I feel like he should be closing this
yeah, he's not opening the show.
Yeah. Okay, so main event, John Cena versus Gunther. What happens here? Does John Cena finally give up, tap out in his last match ever? He hasn't tapped out in 20 years or something. I don't see that happening, but I think John should win. I think he should sting it up, go out on top because you're John Cena. That's what I think.
I think especially after having the loss to Brock and Dom, he should win. I like it. I like that they're teasing that you're going, maybe he taps. And I think that's going to be a hell of a tease in the match.
Right.
When he's put in that new submission Gunther has and teasing the tap. Maybe he's going to look like he's going to do it and roll Gunther back on his shoulders for the win. I don't know, but I'm leaning to Cena winning. I think Cena's winning this.
Yeah, I think it would be a good moment. Wait, I'm trying to remember. Did Goldberg beat Gunther? I think so, right?
No, Gunther beat Goldberg.
Oh, he did. Okay, right.
Yeah, he made him pass out.
I think this match will be better than that one. Hopefully.
Which wasn't bad. As far as Goldberg matches go, it wasn't bad. But
why didn't we get that match? Cena versus Goldberg in 2025.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Or ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So we're both saying Cena should go over. It's his last match. Celebrate, retire happy.
But I mean, it would be a huge thing to give Gunther, wouldn't it? Like it's
already a huge thing you're giving to Gunther.
I know, but it would essentially be like Brock, ending the streak. It's then that bigger thing. Not only did you beat Cena, but you tapped him out.
Well, he could lose to Cena and then beat Brock.
Yeah,
that could happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This year has been a rocky road, but I think back to kind of some of the highlights, which was recently the AJ Styles match. That was like a love letter to a lot of wrestling from the last few years, and loved the SummerSlam one. So I don't know. I feel the Dom stuff was pretty fun as well. I feel like this could be a really good way to end a big career. Won't be a dry eye in the house in DC, but because maybe did John Cena actually book this show? It would make sense of why the show is actually looking good to me, because the storyline is he's booking this show, but maybe he did, because Triple H hasn't usually gotten my interest a lot this year. But this is for a TV, YouTube, Peacock, whatever you want to call this, non-PLE, John Cena's last match. The other matches seem pretty good. Bayley taking on Sol Ruca. We talked on our deadline review about Bayley's, the Lodestone training camp she just did with a bunch of young up and coming women wrestlers and everything. And having Sol Ruca be one of the prominent women stars in NXT going up against Bayley, I think that's pretty good. Don't necessarily know the outcome, but we know from tonight Zarya might be in attendance that, hey, maybe on the biggest stage possible, we get the breakup. That's probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but then I think you risk
no one knowing
a wet fart of a reaction because no one knows who Zarya is. I think they picked the right people. Sol Ruca, Obafemi, Javon Evans, Leon Slater. They're all people that can wow you even if you've never seen them before. Soul just hitting a soul snatcher or moonsault to the floor or whatever, and people are going to go, wow, who's this girl? I think if they don't watch NXT and there's a big angle with just some random Aussie chick who's there
getting beat up by Mad Max,
I feel
character.
I feel it could be a bit of a wet fart. I think you should save that for an NXT crowd.
Unless you show them the TikToks before the match to show the crowd, look, they're annoying friends. And you want to watch one of them turn on the other. But like, yeah, I get what you mean, because we've seen when NXT people are on the main roster, there is sort of a disconnect because people might not be aware of who they are. And if you're trying to do an angle, but then it is the most watched and the most eyes. So I don't know. Imagine that spear on Soul. That would be huge. But I do want to see the Soul Snatcher, and people seeing that for the first time. That could be pretty cool. But what was crazy is seeing some clips of Bayley's training camp, and she got in the ring with Izzy.
Right.
From NXT all those years ago. Think back. Sasha Banks, the headband and everything. Yeah. That's crazy. She's got to be showing up on a TV show soon. Absolutely nuts. Yeah. Cena's retiring and Izzy's going to be wrestling Bayley. We're old now. If anything I just said made sense to you, maybe you should make a call with the doc. just a checkup,
So your prediction there, who's winning that one?
I'm gonna say, because it's like, if the Zarya thing, then I'm gonna go with Sol Ruca, just because
I'm gonna go with Bayley. I think you could you don't need to necessarily do the breakup angle, but you can have a bit more miscommunication if you wanted to with this.
She could cost it her and make it even like stretch this out even more of like next Tuesday could be the breakup if you wanted to, but or New Year's Evil, because that's when someone would do something evil. Yeah, maybe, but so that could be a fun match. Also announced AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, also known to me as AJ Lee, the tag team champions, taking on Javon Evans and Leon Slater. Take my money. Oh, wait, the show is for free on YouTube. Take my time, because this is banger incoming alert right here. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, this sounds awesome. I think AJ and Dragon Lee, it's a bit of a random team, but they've actually been having some pretty nice chemistry and their matches. And I think that Styles clash the other week really turned some heads. And Javon and Leon are always just spectacular. So I think this is just going to be such a entertaining match. I don't see Javon and Leon winning this one, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And especially it's the first X Division champion against the current X Division champion.
That's crazy. Wow. TNA represent in the house for that one. I didn't even think of that he's still the current champ. And then here you have AJ, who was the X Division. Like he ran that shit. So yeah, that is going to be an awesome match. That has my attention. Whatever show you put that on, I would be tuning into that. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. And then on top of, I don't think AJ and Dragon Lee are going to drop the titles at this point, but still, I'm looking forward to this match. And then Cody Rhodes, the WWE champion, taking on Oba Femi, the NXT champion. This is pretty crazy. We were saying on our deadline show at some point, like, how the hell do you book this? This got to be some sort of non-finish, dusty, like brawl at the end or schmaz finish or something. You can't do just Oba losing clean, and you probably don't want to do Cody losing clean. So, yeah,
I feel Oba should win this one.
Just clear Cody Rhodes. I think rule him.
I think the others, like I think Javon, Leon, Sol Ruca, they're more underdog style characters, and they can get over with crowds just from personality and they're like high flying and all that. Oba Femi needs to get over by absolutely dominating. Now, that being said, if you were doing that, I wouldn't have had him like sell so much to Javon tonight, because Javon was the one dominating that match tonight and had that robbed from him. So I don't know. I just feel it's a real statement. If you want Oba Femi to be the next big thing or whatever, I think a huge win over Cody, it's non-title, could be bold. It could be bold booking. That being said, like, you'd probably save that for a main event, wouldn't you? So anything that happens is going to be eclipsed by the main event. So do you just play it a bit safer for the rest of the matches?
I think having Oba Femi here, whether it's a win, lose, or draw, the more eyes on this guy, especially for the first time on this show, people will be like think how many people are going to watch this and maybe have their friends over, or go out or whatever to watch this because it's John Cena's last match. And you're going to have the friend who's like, well, who the hell is this guy? This giant, what championship is he? What NXT? Oh, okay. And then I would imagine you have Obafemi in the Royal Rumble. It's the second time you get to see this guy. I think he could lose this title by New Year's Evil and be on the main roster. Like at this point, after such like just a few shots of him there, people will be like, okay, wait, this guy should be there. And then I don't know, you just have him run strong. I don't know, IC title or world heavy. I don't know really, but like bringing him onto the main roster and in a dominant way is the right move. But I don't know if necessarily beating Cody Rhodes clean, it would be crazy. And right away would be the like, whoa, but maybe Drew, if that feud's still going, whatever the hell's going on with that. So like there could be some interference. Ricky Saints tonight did some interfering. Maybe that happens as well. I'm not sure, but yeah, pretty cool. NXT champ versus WWE champ on one of the biggest shows this year. And it's pretty cool seeing all the NXT representation and this whole like way of Cena, whether this is kayfabe or not, of like, hey, I want the up and coming, NXT people on this show. I think it's a pretty cool layout of how they've designed it, whether or not like we agree with how we got to a Saturday night's main event. I still think it could have been like this huge, grand, elaborate. This probably could have been a stadium show if you really think of like Cena retires at SummerSlam or something. Like Cena retires in a stadium probably could have actually happened if you played your cards right there. But alas, we're at the DC. Anyways.
Do you think they could have done more of a build for these NXT matches? Or do you think we're treating this as like it's weird
exhibition,
like isolated exhibition show? I mean, there was a little bit of crossover. You did have Oba and Ricky were on SmackDown. You had, I think, Leon and Javon showed up, but it's been very minimal, the interactions between the two. And I thought on tonight's NXT they could have sold it even more. Or
like I feel like maybe if you announced all of these matches, like I know we knew some of them, but all of them now, like you could have announced it maybe just a little sooner to give it some breathing room. But then I thought like at least Oba tonight on NXT like referenced it a few times, like I am facing Cody Rhodes and I'm going to beat him and stuff. But yeah, I see what you mean. I was actually expecting Cody to come out like on this, because that really would have maybe got people's attention. And again, a little bit of an eye grabber for NXT in general. But yeah, either way, like maybe because we do watch this show, we do know who these characters and these people are. And to me, this is a pretty appealing card on top of the fact that it's John Cena's last match with Gunther. So definitely looking forward to this. It was pretty let down with War Games, but I guess I got what I expected. Whereas this one, I'm like, I think this will be pleasantly surprised in a good way. So the last time is now this Saturday. Very excited. Reminder, the last time is now, but our time on Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time on Poisonrana Live. We will be going live 2 p.m. Eastern to talk all about Saturday night's main event, John Cena's last match, and all the matches we just discussed. So join us this Tuesday, 2 p.m. If you don't or can't catch us live, the audio will be up on the Poisonrana free feed. So give us a follow on your YouTube or in your podcast app. Search Poisonrana or go to Poisonrana.ca for the links of everything that we do, including tons and tons of podcasts. But yes, this Sunday we'll talk all about that. John Cena's last match, the AEW Continental Classic. I know we got some bangers coming up. We've already had some awesome matches as the last few weeks. Some good stuff. Winter is coming. I think, is that tomorrow? Well, winter is here. Winter is coming tomorrow. So we'll talk all about that on Sunday, as well as everything else in the world of wrestling, as we usually do. So join us on YouTube, 2 o'clock, or the podcast free feed. And I guess now we can talk about some NXT.
Let's do it.
NXT from Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. It is a deadline hangover, or is it? Because I'll say, we were maybe thumbs in the middle for deadline. We definitely were praising the Iron Survivors, and more specifically the women's Iron Survivor match. But I thought this episode of NXT was pretty good. I think it was up there as one of my favorites this year. Like, there's been some stuff I haven't liked, but I thought that we got some really good wrestling and, I don't know, some good story progression to get me hyped about a main event that we didn't really know we were going to get. If you didn't watch the show, but not really a hangover, I would say. A really strong episode of NXT. We get the recap. Obafemi regained his NXT championship, becoming a 2-time NXT champion. Vic Joseph and Booker T back in the saddle. What were you able to list all the 2-time NXT champions? They listed them off, but quickly in my head, I was trying to do it before Vic said it to me. I thought
2-time would be Tommaso Ciampa, Finn Balor, Nakamura, Oba, Trick Williams. Is that it?
Was Samoa Joe a 2-time, or am I crazy?
3-time.
3-time.
Yeah, because he flip-flopped, didn't he? He won it. He won it from Balor on the house show.
Yeah.
Dropped to Nakamura, won it back from Nakamura, dropped it to Nakamura again, and then won it against Karrion Kross, and then
did that count?
He was champ.
Yeah, you're right. 3 times. So Joe, I guess, counts in the 2-time category as well, but that's crazy. 3-time. Yeah, I forgot about that. William Regal. Was that when William Regal came back?
Therefore, Karrion Kross was 2-time champion as well, wasn't he?
Oh, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't mention him, did they?
Maybe he did. Oh yeah, you're right. He is a 2-time champion. Yeah. Maybe he did, but I was quickly, to me, I could do Finn, Nakamura, and Trick came to my head, and then Ciampa, and then when they said Joe, I was like,
Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker was 2-time champion as well.
Interesting. Yeah, lots of 2 times. 3 times is like, dude, it's developmental. Get out of here. What are you doing? It's pretty much. But he came back. That was the storyline. I completely forgot about that. We start off with Obafemi, the new, as we said, 2-time NXT champion. The ruler is back. Good song. He comes out, the microphone, looking spiffy, I might add. He says, true power doesn't bend. True power doesn't break. And this is a 2-time champion. The power is here. And NXT just wasn't the same without the ruler on top. And the ruler had to rise from the ashes and reclaim his throne and his title. And now Cody Rhodes will see the ruler. Cody Rhodes will meet the ruler, the destroyer, the bringer of war. And I will, when he's interrupted by Ricky Saints, who comes out. He looks a little defeated, as he was defeated on Sunday. He says, my bag the last few days have been a lot lighter because of you, and says you were the better man after deadline. And I thought to myself the last few days, this could be it for Ricky. But you said something about the universe correcting itself. Well, maybe it is, because if I'm looking at it one way, we should be looking at it 1-1, meaning you should give me my rematch. When Ricky is interrupted here by Javon Evans, who just won the Iron Survivor. He is the Iron Survivor challenger, the winner here. He says, hold on, Yurt. Now, is this just one letter away from like a cease and desist from Jey Uso, the Yurt stuff?
Oh, is that what he said? Right.
It's the crowd are doing it for him. The Yurt. I know we have Lash Legend doing skirt, but this is Yurt. Yeah. And not like Go-Gurt, but like Yurt. And I just kept thinking it's really
what the fuck's happened to the English language? Jesus Christ.
I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin with his what is just saying one word.
At least that's a fucking word.
Yurt.
Making noises, random numbers that mean nothing. I just don't get me started.
Apparently, according to Urban Dictionary, yurt, used in Tennessee, is a great word to indicate one's happiness. So maybe he's just happy. He's yurting. Yurt.
Sure.
He's going to do the same thing Jey Uso did, just yurt.
Yurt. You asked earlier if I felt old. Yes. No.
Yeah. So Javon is yurting all over the place and says, hey, I just won the Iron Survivor and I earned the shot at New Year's Evil. And Ricky, you're saying you want a shot and Oba might give you the shot. And well, I don't want to wait till January. I want my title right now. And Ricky's like, whoa, dude, like, chill. Why? What's the rush? What's the rush? And he goes, what's the rush? Well, I'm 21 years old and no one can touch me. I've been on Raw, SmackDown, AAA. I've been wrestled at MSG and more importantly, NXT live events, as he got a little pop there. I like that. He then says, nobody's touching me. And then Ricky's like, oh, you know what? Actually, yeah. And he kind of hypes him up like, you're right. You're absolutely right. You should do it. So Javon's kind of looking at Oba and he's kind of questioning it like, oh, I'm not sure about this. And Javon says, you scared? You scared, Oba? Because you're looking like you're scary right now. And he doesn't actually say yes, but he says game on. And then you have Booker in the next segment be like, Ava, you better make this match. And then they come back from another break. And it's, I think Triple H who finally is the one who breaks the actual news of like, hey, this match is happening tonight. Once again, Ava not doing her job properly. Just make the match.
I thought to start with, Oba sounded great in the opening promo, and I think all three of these guys I'm looking at going, okay, Ricky didn't hold this title long. He's just dropped it. Is he moving up? Oba Femi's going to be on Saturday night's main event. Is he going to drop it tonight? Is he moving up? Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't see these three being long for NXT. But I feel we've been saying that about Trick Williams for at least a year. I think we've been in this position so many times with people on NXT who are more than ready to move up when we're going, oh, why are they still here? But I did think, I think Oba Femi just is the complete package. I think his promo is great and it's very unique to him. I loved when he said, like, he acts like he's Thanos, right? He acts like he's this god and everyone else are these little ants to him. But he goes, oh, you two titleless guys are going to tell me what to do? I thought it was a good line. And then Ricky was very much foreshadowing the end of the show because he was coming across a lot less sincere than usual. The crowd were already starting to boo him here.
Yeah.
And when he's like, you're right, Javon, you go for it because then it's you and me. It just felt like very over the top here.
Yes, definitely signaling what was to come, I think, later tonight. But I thought Oba sounded good. I think Ricky was purposely trying to sound like the way he was because, again, like foreshadowing that this heel turn is most absolutely coming. But I thought Javon sounded good too. I love Javon's energy that he brings. I know your thing, I might not quite understand it, but everything else, he seems pretty, he's 21.
Yeah.
And he seems pretty genuine and hyped up about everything. I don't know. There's like a bit of a connection there, I think.
And part of me was, we've had, the spontaneous title matches. We had the spontaneous title match. I feel JC and Stephanie, was that the day of or just the week before they announced it?
Yeah.
Certainly Roxanne, when she won the what was it? She won the breakout tournament and challenged Mandy right away and won it. There was a little bit in my head was like, oh, is Javon going to win it from Oba tonight and Oba's just moving up? Like, there was a seed of doubt because whenever they flip the switch and do something immediately we normally have something big in store in NXT.
Yeah, NXT has a habit of like randomly switching what they were doing, someone losing a title and then being called up or switching story. There's a lot of cut and move sometimes in this show, but it has been a while and they are like your Tricks or Obas. You do wonder like how long are they going to be down here? Like they could easily, like we've said multiple times, I think post Mania is the right time to bring people in because then it's like fresh start. It's day one, like it's a beginning of the year essentially, but there's still, this is the road to WrestleMania starting and it's kind of harder to slot new people in unless you kind of strap a bit of a rocket to them. But I liked all three of these. I thought Ricky was signaling what was going to happen. So I didn't necessarily buy it, but that's great interest and intrigue to have for this like main event that they just throw at us. So I was pretty hyped to hear that we were getting this match and it makes you kind of think of what could happen and where we're going to go with this. But I didn't think they would announce Oba Femi versus Cody and then have Oba lose before he fought Cody. Because that would be kind of weird.
Well, but then it'd be Javon Cody, wouldn't it?
True, right. NXT champion.
Which Javon just doing double duty.
Wow, on John Cena's last match. Yeah, exactly.
The one thing I didn't like here, and I'll probably criticize it a bit more later, was zero mention of Tony D'Angelo from Javon. I think the end of the show was Tony taking out Javon Evans. And it was as if they went, wait, actually, we want Tony in a feud with Ethan Page. Let's just forget that happened. It just seemed bizarre. A bit weird because the show ended and it seemed like, Tony took out Javon and was staring down Oba Femi because Tony is one of the guys who beat Oba. And it just felt like they completely removed him from this story and put him elsewhere.
Yeah, totally. It feels like that wasn't even, I forgot. Like I completely forgot that even happened until he shows up later on this show. And I'm like, oh, wait, but didn't you? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Wouldn't Javon, I guess Javon was just so happy that he doesn't care, but he should get his receipt back on Tony. We get a recap of Kelani Jordan and her winning the Knockouts title, losing the Knockouts title when the NXT locker room kicked her out when she was saying that Grace was just jealous of her. And these two kind of been beefing for the last few weeks. And it kind of comes to a head a little bit later as they're gearing up for their match, which is next. When we go to a commercial, we get John Cena talking about Saturday night's main event. All the positive John Cena quotes here. Very nice. What a nice guy, this John Cena. Except when he's on Total Divas. That's when he's not a nice guy. That's what I want to see. When they're showing me the best of WrestleMania entrances and all these wrestlers telling me how great of a guy he is. I want to see him
put that dog down.
Yeah, I want to see him cleaning the kitchen counters and just scolding his partner like, the fuck's wrong with you? You wanted to cook here? You he's such an evil man on that show. I just choose to believe it was kayfabe. He knew. What did he make her sign? Like
this huge document of all these things. Yeah,
it's not even like that is crazy. Love it.
There was that weird thing where he's like, and at 10 p.m. the men go to the cigar room and the women go and have their nails done or stuff like that. It's like, you freak! Like, what the hell?
That sounds kind of nice. I don't know. Maybe some people want to smoke cigars and get their nails done.
Yeah, but John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Johnny Ace just smoking cigars. Like Bryan in that situation is like, what the fuck am I going to talk to these guys about?
Have you seen that? Have you heard this clip from Bryan? Someone asked him in an interview. I'm sorry, I don't remember where I was.
Oh, about media.
Clip. And he said that he hasn't even been watching. He loves John, and he says that this is great, but he hasn't been watching because he tries to avoid media. And says that he just did a 16-hour drive to see his mom, and he didn't listen to music, podcast, nothing.
I think
Cena
has said that as well. Someone else has said that before, and it's
like
it's psychopathic behavior.
Pretty crazy. Like I seen a thing on the news like months ago, and now follow me for a second. They were calling it raw dogging. Now, maybe to us that kind of means something else, but like raw dogging, apparently when you go on a flight or a long drive and you have no audio, no nothing, you just stare ahead of you and you go through it. No napping. You just fight through it for 12 hours. And I've watched a few the news cover it, and then I've seen TikToks. And then on my flight from Osaka to Vancouver, which was about 13 hours, I sat next to a guy who was younger than me and you, and he did it. He just sat there. He did fall asleep though, eventually, with his head in front of the seat in front of it, which was really funny, but he was trying to do it. And I was like, this is crazy. You got to be nuts. I was like, this guy's a psycho.
These kids with their yurts, their 6'7s, and just raw dogging flights. Just get a fucking hobby.
Go raw dog the way you're supposed to. Don't do
kick a ball around. Crazy.
How do you drive for 16 hours? How do you go on a 16-hour flight and not watch anything, do anything, nap? I don't know. It sounds
driving. I can at least understand a little bit because
you're focused.
You're focusing on the road, and I think there's something kind of calming and your surroundings and stuff like that, and you can maybe be in your head a little bit and decompress. But on a flight, come on, flights can be miserable.
It's just a crying baby for 15 hours.
Awful.
Anyways, great matches and moments John Cena and Daniel Bryan have had in the WWE, but Danielson just hasn't been watching, which is pretty funny. He's so Danielson. We go to Tatum Paxley in her dollhouse. Very spooky. very evil. Wait, that's someone else. Tatum Paxley in her dollhouse, and it's all broken up and everything. She says, I have nothing left to lose now, after losing to Izzy on Saturday. She then pulls out a Sean Spears action figure. Is this a Ty Dillinger action figure? I'd assume. And what looks like a Ken doll that's just been changed. Nico Vance.
Nico Vance doesn't have an action figure yet, so she got a Sharpie and just drew some tattoos on a Ken doll, I think.
It was pretty funny. I don't know what doll this is, but it's definitely not Nico Vance. And she says
she shrunk Inamura's vest he left behind and put it on.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's the one thing. If it's a Sean Spears action figure, where's the vest and the like?
Oh, he's in his wrestling gear.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, she then says, you wanted to play your game? Well, now you're going to play mine, Izzy. 1 by 1, 2 will go. It's just me and you, Izzy, all alone together, as she starts to pop off the heads of these dolls and then walks away laughing as we see the other 2 dolls from Saturday there.
So she's threatening to murder Sean Spears and Nico Vance, take them out. So it's how is she going to go about this?
I don't know. I'm willing to see where this plays out, though. Like, let's see. Like, the culling is going to get culled.
It's been a while since we've had a good old-fashioned murder.
Tony D is back. We could have murder on the table.
I think some, like round the dinner table, and then suddenly both of them like, she's poisoned their food, poisoned Christmas dinner or something.
Right. Well, I don't know if they'd trust anything she bakes for them now because, like, they're beefing, they're feuding. But
yeah,
I just assumed we're getting a cage match.
Right.
Because, like, no one's outside interference.
No one can ever interfere in them. Yeah.
Maybe she's gonna 1 by 1 off the culling. So maybe that is what's gonna happen. So Chairman and Cousin Nico, count your days. Tatum Paxley is coming after you. We go to our next match. This was pretty good. Kelani Jordan taking on Jordynne Grace. The advertisement again. We're in Canada. My Netflix. It just shows NXT is back, and then clearly they mute Vic Joseph and Booker for a little while as they read a commercial read, a promo read, or something. Because when their mics are turned back on, the first thing I hear, Kung Pao chicken. And Vic being like, well, I prefer the orange chicken myself personally. Yeah, you would, Vic. The orange chicken, which it is pretty good too. But I'm speaking like we have Panda Express here. But Kung Pao chicken, as he keeps talking about it, and this is when he yells at the camera Booker. He's like, Ava, make the match. You want ratings? It's like, yo, chill, dude. And then he continues to talk about the Kung Pao chicken. So if it wasn't for, I guess, me asking questions on the show, it would still be pretty weird to just, if you tuned in to watch them, you don't know why this guy is screaming Kung Pao chicken, because not once do they say Panda Express here.
Yeah.
So funny. Kung Pao chicken. You can hear us talk about Kung Pao chicken and how The Rock would call John Cena Kung Pao chicken on The Champ Is Here.
Yeah.
Available for free on the Poisonrana podcast feed tomorrow. But Kung Pao chicken bitch, I think is what he called. I still don't get why he called him that.
It didn't really make sense, but it's written on his wrist. So he clearly thought it was really good.
The Rock was like, yo, I fucking got it.
If you zoom in, like, we analyze this promo, and we are going to put this whole show out for free, but we'll give a little snippet. You zoom in on his arm and you see KPC is written in his notes, where he's like, I've got to remember this Kung Pao chicken line. It doesn't make sense, but I'm The Rock. But what would happen? He accidentally says Szechuan chicken or something like that. Like,
is it because the red? He was wearing the red shirt and it's like kind of red, I guess, but it doesn't make sense. The Kung Pao chicken. But yeah, The Rock was like, yo, I fucking got him with this one. He is cooked Kung Pao chicken, bitch. Anyways, I love hearing that on I'm gonna make it a soundbite for future shows of just Booker T yelling Kung Pao chicken when something's really good. That's his 5-star. His 5-star rating is Kung Pao chicken. I'd give this match a Kung Pao. This match is pretty good.
Yeah,
give it a something. But Jordynne Grace versus Kelani Jordan here. Right away, Grace is fired up. She's pissed off at Kelani. She's been super, super mean, super heelish lately. And Jordan's finally getting her hands on her. She attacks her. She starts beating down on her, hits a very nice Michinoku driver for a 2 count. There's then the Vader bomb, but Kelani gets out of the way. And then Kelani slams Jordan into the apron, knees first, as we go into picture-in-picture. And then this Booker T goes on one tonight. Now, again, Canada, Netflix, we have picture-in-picture for this match. Booker T was doing his best Taz picture-in-picture. Like, he was talking some nonsense here, let alone the Kung Pao chicken. But he starts asking, what's going on here? He asks Vic if he knows what an op is, not the Samoa Joe stable, but the opposition. He then calls Kelani Jordynne Grace and calls Jordynne Grace Kelani Jordan. So Vic corrects him, and he's like, oh, my bad. And then about 30 seconds to the dot, he does it again, and Vic corrects him again, and he goes, oh, I'm so sorry, my bad. And then as they're coming back from commercial break, it's silence, and you just hear Booker say under his breath, hey, man, you drinking coconut water? NXT is back on the air. I was like, what? Excuse me. Kung Pao chicken and coconut water. Brought to you by Vic Joseph and Booker T. Kelani working the knee of Jordynne Grace here as she continues to beat down on her. She eventually goes for a chair, and the ref is like, get that shit out of here. So she ends up getting hit by a spine buster from Jordynne Grace. And then they somehow do the, speaking of Danielson, the upside down fight where they're both like on their heads and like slapping each other. Yep. Very impressive here. Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr.-esque here. Pretty cool. And then eventually Grace gets her in like a gory bomb special and starts slamming her face first into the turnbuckle. I thought that was cool. And then a huge German suplex, but not enough to keep Kelani down. They're on the outside exchanging tombstone counters when finally Grace hits the Vader bomb off the steps. And then she, at one point, gets sent into the guardrail. It looked like she was running at Kelani, but she moves. So it's Grace who goes in, not the normal part that they usually do this spot, but like kind of close to the steps here. And Grace takes herself out here and then gets rolled back into the ring where Kelani hits the 450 for the 1-2-3. Kelani Jordan pinning Jordynne Grace on NXT to kind of really maybe put a pin in this rivalry or feud for now, what it seems. But I thought if this was a deadline hangover or leftovers, if you will, I thought this was a really awesome singles match on TV.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. We've had this 2 times now, right? I think This was the second time. I'd like to have it at one of the PLEs though, because sure. I maybe we will for a title or something down the line, but I feel these are 2 of the best in the division, and the division's super strong. But I think they bring out the best of each other, and Jordynne Grace needed a good feud, I think, after the Blake Monroe one, and this has definitely been a bit more interesting. I just feel it kind of got lost a bit being in the middle of the show here. I feel like it's a bigger match than just sort of like middle of the show. But yeah, do you know what I mean? I feel this should be built. We've had some, you have Mr. Iguana versus Ethan Page just randomly thrown onto the pay-per-view on the last NXT. And it's like, this has been building for a while, and this deserves uninterrupted 15, 20 minutes, in my opinion.
I would like to see this eventually down the line. Yeah, it's kind of, I feel like you could easily continue it. It has been more of a serious feud, and it's not as hokey as the Blake Monroe Jordynne Grace one, because that was so gimmicky and all the kind of the BS that came with it. Whereas this was just like, we want to be better than the other one. And one of them's a bit cranky, but I thought this was really good, and I would like them to go back to it eventually and see. But either of these 2 should be NXT champion next year.
Oh yeah,
like Kelani and Jordan could easily be on. Sorry, Kelani Jordan and Jordynne Grace. Confusing. See, I know how Booker feels, but like they could be on the main roster even in 2026. But I would imagine one of these 2 becomes champion in 2026 pretty soon. But yeah. Blake Monroe backstage, she's getting ready for her match because she's putting her North American title on the line, but we will see what happens with that. When we come back from break, Jordynne Grace backstage has got some ice on her shoulder. She's pretty upset that she lost the match when Thea Hale says, hey, don't doubt yourself. Come on, don't give up. And Grace is like, really? I'm getting advice from a 16-year-old, which got a laugh out of me. She goes, actually, I'm 22, but I've been in NXT since I was 18, so I'm kind of a grizzled vet, essentially. And Grace kind of blows her off. But then Thea says, oh, I have an open challenge to try to accept, so I gotta go. So
I did like this detail, and they've done this a few times. They used to do it with Wesley's open challenge, where it's as you imagine it. If someone does an open challenge, everyone's running to try and get that spot, and you just see the women's locker room start clearing out because they're, oh, better get to Gorilla, better try and get the open challenge. But I also continue to enjoy when the kids in NXT are trying to give advice to the adults, and they're like, "Will you fuck off? I'm already mad that I've lost, and now I've got this child telling me."
Like Jordynne Grace has been wrestling. Like I watched Jordynne Grace wrestle when she was a teenager in front of no one, and now years later, she's listening to what she called a 16-year-old. I thought that was pretty funny. It kind of made me think: is Jordynne Grace going to turn heel? Which I don't think would be the right. I don't know. Would
just turn everyone heel?
Everyone gets so cooler and better and more interesting when you're heel. You can always turn back to babyface, and then you keep the cool quality, the cool factor, the riz, dare I say. But you need to go full heel to find yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes, everyone always says, don't be a dickhead, which is totally true in real life. But sometimes in wrestling, you kind of got to be to find yourself, to then not be a dickhead. Everyone appreciates the heels when they're retiring or whatever. I don't know. Do we have enough heels or do we have too many? I feel like she would be.
We've got enough heels right now.
We shall see. Well, glamour is forever because Blake Monroe, the North American women's champ, in the ring, she says, I know that everyone around here looks at me like I'm a role model, and I know it's the holidays, so I'm in a giving mood, and I'm going to give back to the less fortunate. And who doesn't want a little bit of glamour in their life? So she asks, who's going to answer the open challenge when everyone does? The whole mid-card women's roster locker room comes out here, and everyone's coming out and arguing and bickering, and Blake starts to freak out like, oh, I was not expecting all these people, and starts to get nervous when Thea Hale is in the ring and puts Blake Monroe into the Kimura. Blake is tapping out, but the match was never made official. So Thea Hale stands tall, and Blake Monroe runs out through the crowd of all the women who were looking for this title shot. But yes, the open challenge never actually happens.
Yeah, this is probably the weak point in the show for me. I thought it was a little bit silly. It's way they've set up Thea and Blake for next week. Mm-hmm. Thea seems to have moved on from Joe Hendry, maybe.
True.
And I don't mind that. I don't mind Thea getting into a feud with Blake. I just didn't really like the whole setup with the fake open challenge. Thought it was a little silly.
Like, okay, you said we've done it before where everyone comes out for Wes's thing before, like the title before, but here it's backwards because later she's going to be like, Ava, why did you do that when it was her idea, like in the first place and stuff? But I don't know. Blake hasn't totally connected with me in NXT. If anything, I know we just did the feud I didn't like with Jordynne Grace and Blake in the the nail salon. But like you could have Thea be her like partner, because like where do you do with Thea? We've just tried to literally make her Joe Hendry as a gimmick, and thankfully, hopefully, they're not going to continue with that going forward. But like, what else? It's almost like she needs like something.
I find so often that characters peak in NXT, and then when they're not called up, they've got to evolve, because you can't, like Thea, like Chase U was the best iteration of Thea. And I think if you do call her up, you kind of want to play on her youth. You don't want her to be in NXT forever, and then she's like the same age as everyone else in her late 20s. You want to capitalize. Same with Yvonne. You want to capitalize with them being kids on the main roster and really have that be as their selling point. But the thing is, she mentioned in a promo, she's been here 4 years now. She's already played the sort of child role, and therefore, as an audience, we get a little bored and want a bit of evolution. But I think we've seen so many times in NXT great tag teams that end up not getting called up. So they break up and have a feud with each other. And yes, you can put them back together, but it's never really the same after that. And yeah, I just think there are so many acts that a certain iteration, Undisputed Era would have been great moving up, you know? Yeah. Chase, you even give it a go. Tony D'Angelo and the family give it a go. But they have to evolve them on NXT, and then they kind of just, it never connects quite as well.
Yeah, like I don't disagree. When you've done certain things already, you can't, maybe the magic is gone. Like I think Thea felt like she was really over with Chase. Yeah. Like we were kind of hoping she won the title back then, but it didn't happen. But yeah. Well, we'll see what happens, but we'll get ahead of ourselves. We know that match is happening very soon. In fact, it's next week. But yes, we go backstage. I know you're excited. Shiloh Hill. Yeah. He says he's excited. He says he's nervous, but nervous is good. The body is hypercontinent, and he says this word that's probably like 1,000 letters long.
He explains the biology or the chemistry or whatever behind nerves, like actually nervous. What nerves are.
Well, he lost me there, but then completely got me back when he said he's going to go smash mouth on Lexis King. Obviously, he was referring to the band from the Shrek soundtrack. He then says that no one sleeps on Shiloh Hill, and then he puts his mouth guard in that so happens to make it his gap tooth filled, right?
Yes.
Got the tooth that makes it look like his teeth are normal, I guess, but yeah. So Shiloh Hill making his NXT debut against Lexis King.
I love how, like, when was this decided? Because on all the website and everything, it was just like Shiloh Hill in action, Shiloh Hill debuts.
Right.
But yeah, no mention of Alexis. There.
I'll tell you, that's not a good thing for Lexis.
No, not at all.
That's not a good thing but it's okay because Booker T fucking loves Lexis King.
Put this man on the main roster. Like, what?
Kept yelling it. How did I laughed out loud? Put this man on the main roster. He yells at the beginning of this match during Lexis. Lexis didn't even get an entrance, but like he yelled it in the beginning of this. Put this man on the main roster. I was like, what the hell? Shiloh Hill gets an entrance. It's a bit like I said. It's his computer on the promo from Saturday was like Hal from Space Odyssey or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and it completely is that. It's like the red dot and like a weird like countdown, and out comes Shiloh Hill, and they call him the winner of LFG Season 2, and then they show tweets from his supporters, including his trainer, the Undertaker, who put out this tweet here. And I thought I had to look twice here that I was making sure I was reading this from @Undertaker. The toothless aggression era is officially underway. Ooh. Toothless aggression. Hell yeah. Ooh. Toothless aggression era. Whatever you got, whatever you want.
We've already had this guy asking where his bleach is and all that. Like, come on. Come on. Don't lead us down that path, guys. Jesus.
I didn't say it. The Undertaker did it. I'm looking at it. It's not been taken down at this point. He says, toothless aggression era is officially underway. Oh, my God. Wow. Okay. Right. Anyways, Lexis King, Shiloh Hill. King tries to attack him right as the bell rings, but he sidesteps him and throws him out of the ring. He hits him back in the ring and hits shoulder tackles into the corners. And then King comes back with a low drop kick and then another one. This is when Booker T is just going off about how much he loves Lexis King. Vic at one point is annoyed and says, you sounds like you really love this kid. Why, if you love him so much, why don't you put your gear on and tag with this dude? Like, you should just be in a tag team. And he's like, what? No, what are you talking about? I'm not going to do that. But I love him, though. He hits a third dropkick attempt, but it's a fake out where he then like slaps Shiloh Hill. But then Shiloh gets pissed off by this, takes the mouth guard out, revealing the toothless aggression. I guess I shouldn't call it that, but the Undertaker did. He then shoulder tackles. I guess he played football, right? Somewhere JR is smiling ear to ear. Hits some shoulder tackles and then a spinning, twisting neck breaker. kind of similar to the coronation, actually, and then hits his finisher. I think Vic called this the Whisper to the Beast, which is like a back suplex into a neck breaker.
Yeah, looked cool. I thought,
yeah,
like a little different. Everyone else seems to have a DDT or a kick or something, so I appreciated this.
Well, Shiloh Hill pins Lexis King in his NXT TV debut. So there you go. That's the download. What do we think of Shiloh Hill? The first impression.
I felt similar to his promos, where I think it's like he's very green. He needs work, but he is showing something. Like I'm already seeing more from this guy than Jasper Troy, who won the first season of LFG. I think he's got charisma. He seems comfortable out there and somewhat of a character, and his finisher wasn't bad. Like, we didn't see a whole lot from him. Like, his wrestling didn't necessarily blow me away, but it's early days. And I think this, as a character, he could maybe play a part that I'd be interested more than some other people there. So I thought it was an all right debut.
Like, okay, I didn't necessarily see a whole lot of wrestling. When someone does a running football shoulder tackle, it gives me callbacks, PTSD of Mojo Rawley. Like, I instantly think you don't have enough actual wrestling moves because you're doing a running, shitty looking football tackle. So that gives me warning bells a little bit there. But it's day one. Like, I mean, maybe not day one, but TV match one. So he didn't look necessarily bad. The finisher looked cool. He's big. He's got a look. The tooth thing, the hair, like, he's trying to be weird. He's doing like the high step. He's trying to be like, I don't know, like Gen Z, 4chan, Bray Wyatt was a Redditor. I don't know what he's going
like. For. I don't want to see any more cult groups in wrestling, but I think something like that would help him. You know, being a character in part of a group where, while he's improving his wrestling skills and stuff, he isn't necessarily as exposed. But
sure,
I think he's got a presence about him, and I can see people warming to him. I think there's something quite likable about the guy. Like, he seems a little goofy, doesn't take himself too seriously. If we're looking at the LFG winners, or the people we've had come from LFG, it's what the Olympian, Jasper Troy, and this guy. There's something that jumps off the screen a little bit more with this guy than the other two.
Sure. Yeah, I could definitely give you that. Like, again, I saw him come out. I was like, oh, you know, the videos has just been him sitting at his computer desk. Whereas he walks out, I'm like, this dude's pretty big, actually. Like, at least they made him look big. So,
what do you think of Lexis's new gear? He's gone for the short pants. Yeah. He's not in the long boys anymore.
Yeah. Where are we going? What are we doing with Lexis King?
I don't know.
Do we listen to Booker T and put him on the main roster?
Put this man on the main roster.
Put him on the main roster. Where do you put Lexis? I mean, I guess he's doing fine in TNA right now. He's announced for that. There's a TNA cage match pay-per-view, Lockdown or something. I don't think they're calling it Lockdown.
It's interesting because there's definitely the characters they've shipped over to TNA from NXT that we're not seeing a whole lot of on NXT right now.
Yeah,
where we're getting Leon Slater in return. But yeah, I don't know. Lexis, is he someone we try putting in a tag team or something, doing something different with? Because it's been a lot of the same for the whole run. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think they're already sick of him on NXT because this is what they used him for. Like, he's a generic heel. He's got that working for him, but yeah. But we will see. Shiloh Hill, more of him to come. Obafemi backstage. He's being interviewed about his match tonight is official. Javon Evans, Obafemi, NXT Championship. He says, tonight, I will destroy Javon. And then Cody Rhodes, the quarterback. Well, I will put him in the ground. Just like I will break Javon tonight, I will break Cody Rhodes. I will break the American Nightmare. Very Drago from Rocky. I will break you. So I guess this was your one crossover thing to let you know that he has this match with the WWE champion. But I guess with such little time really to announce and talk about it, what else could they have done? Again, I was expecting Cody Rhodes to show up, but I don't know. He will break Cody Rhodes. This was what you said earlier. Like, this was the only thing of him really referencing that match. But I don't know. I'm excited for the match.
Well, he started in the first one and got interrupted, but there's very little interaction between these matches going on.
Yeah. Maybe he shows up on SmackDown.
Maybe.
With Cody or something like that. We'll see. Ethan Page, the North American champion and the one half of AAA mixed tag champions, double champ. He says, superstars, legends, humans, reptiles, it doesn't matter. Ethan Page is better than everyone. And he says, I'm the only one to ask the questions here, and I'm the only one to get things done. I don't ask silly questions about TikToks and stuff. I just worry about getting things done, like hurting people, breaking people's jaws, and winning gold. I don't care like these stars who like TikTok. I think he's talking to Sol Ruka here.
I just don't like TikTok.
Fucking hates TikTok.
Don't like TikTok, Jordynne, your 6'7s. Just
he hates it. He then says he hates TikTok. He hates the stars that are obsessed with it, and he hates the stars that just want to get that photo with their hero pointing his finger, referring to the Triple H main roster thing. But you see, you got to think like John Cena. This Saturday, we're going to watch him walk away for good. And then after a week, he'll be a distant memory. But me, well, I'll be someone who's here every week. You'll always see me. And I made this title the most relevant title. Check my resume in NXT. And I've conquered everyone. And he says that he's also the AAA, as he corrects himself, AAA mixed tag champions. And he then says that there's 3 days in everyone's life that are very important. 3 important moments everyone's life. Number 1, the day you enter this world. Number 2, the day you leave this earth. And number 3, the day you realize Ethan Page is the biggest star that WWE has to offer. When he's interrupted, the lights go out. Thought it was the Undertaker for a second, but it's not. The video shows the bridge. We know what this means. As the light shows and Ethan realizes, he goes, ah, shit. He turns around to try to attack Tony D, but Tony D'Angelo hits the spine buster on Ethan Page. So the Dawn is back, and now he's course corrected of what he's actually back for, I guess.
Yeah, little odd. I mean, this is a much better story for Ethan Page, who's just hasn't really had stories, has he? He's just been having random opponents with not much build to it.
Sure.
So I like it for this, as I explained earlier. Just bizarre having him debut at the end of the Iron Survivor on Saturday. Didn't make a whole lot of a sense if this is the direction, or is Tony just going to attack someone else random next week, and this is just going to be his thing for a little bit where we don't know why or what he's doing. Ethan Page, as always, sounds great, and he's another one where you're just going, when is this guy going to move up? Because he's fantastic.
Yeah, like Ethan Page cutting that promo, he sounded great, and he was kind of saying things that are kind of breaking forth a little bit, like the Triple H photo, the TikTok stuff, and then saying, hey, it took me to get more serious to then become like a bigger thing, and saying he's one of the biggest stars on the rise. Like, yeah, I think he should be an act on the main roster. That's just like he's at this point too good. His talking is what I think would connect with people on the main roster, and especially the stuff we've seen with Chelsea. Like that just kind of goes hand in hand. So I would imagine he's on the main roster in 2026 for sure. Even going into WrestleMania season, he could be someone. But let alone the Canadian stuff, which I think has really helped him, like having the title be the Canadian title. As we kind of said for the last few weeks, like he should be the guy to eventually just take the U.S. title from Ilya and then do the exact same thing. Make the strap the Lance Storm, Canadian Maple Leaf strap, and I don't know. I think he's one of the best talkers. And in WWE, wrestling always kind of comes secondary. Like you got to know how to go, and he can. But like, I think he's got the character stuff finally down pat. I just hated him as that chicken shit character.
Yeah. Oh, this is
so much
better for him.
So much more interesting is this guy. But we'll see if Tony D and Ethan Page is the direction they go, which I honestly do think we're just going to get these two against each other at New Year's Evil. So
yeah.
Wouldn't he be mad at Stax? Stax just won a title in TNA, a national title.
Yeah.
And
International.
He's the guy that killed. He's the guy that like murdered you and the Heritage Cup. Wouldn't you get revenge on him? Instead, you don't know who you're attacking.
Well, he doesn't know where he works anymore, I guess.
He doesn't know who he is anymore. He looks like, he still looks like Bane to me in his new look, but without the mask, I guess. Ava is backstage. She is with Dion Lennox as he leaves Darkside. He's like, I got to talk to someone. And he goes into Ava's office, and Ava is there with Dion, Miles Bourne, and Leon Slater. Oh, and Joe Hendry. When Ethan Page comes in angry, he's like, did you see what just happened? What the hell's going on here? Like, why did this guy come back and attack me? Yada, yada, yada. First, a lizard stole my car, and now this guy comes back. I feel like everyone's taking goofball pills. And yells at Ava. Miles jokes, hey, Ethan, behind you. And he's like, oh, you. And I think he calls him Deaf Boy or something and walks off as the other guys are like, oh, don't let him talk to you like that. Ava says that she has an important message for these 4 individuals. Dion, Miles, Leon, and Joe, you will all be in a 4-way match next week, and the winner gets an NXT championship match at New Year's Evil. So because Javon cashed in his Iron Survivor match now, Ava instantly is taking the 4 losers and gets a title match.
Okay, I'm glad you're on the same page here.
Once again, I will say the character of Ava is incompetent at doing a good job. The kayfabe character of this general manager, she is really dropping the ball.
It was just really strange because you had this opening segment, and I know WWE doesn't do automatic rematches anymore if you lose the title. I know
it's all made up. They're props. You can do anything you want.
I know they got rid of that, but the opening scene on the show was Ricky being like, hey, I've beaten you once. You've beaten me once. I should have a rematch, and it should be our rubber match. You know, you've had that earlier. Instead, let's give Miles Bourne another shot at this. Let's give Dion Why? Like, why? Like, you had Tony D'Angelo who showed up and attacked Javon and sort of stood staring at Obafemi, one of the only men who's beaten Obafemi. But he's like, I'll go for the North American title. And instead, you've got the 4 losers going against each other again. And I don't think any of them seem that interesting, really. No. Like none of them. Dion, I guess, would be the one to win this because there is that history with Oba, and they've kind of told that story a little bit. But it's not. None of these scream as a particularly interesting match for New Year's Evil.
Match, or if they were to win, would that even be like that great? I don't know at this point. Like the story is there with Javon, and I'm not quite sure. Like if Oba, like, okay, jumping ahead, maybe we get a multi-match where it's like a bunch of people, but I don't think that's the case because this is straight up the winner of this. So the Iron Survivor doesn't even matter actually because we're doing a 4-way match with all the losers next week.
Yeah.
For now, the slot of New Year's Evil. So.
Like who only got their chance because Cena was like, I like these guys. Like I'd be pissed if I was the rest of the roster.
Yeah.
Like, where's my shot?
Put a battle royal or something at least.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Anyways, pretty funny. We go to our next match. Sol Ruka taking on Ren Sinclair, who comes out with the Iron Survivor Women's winner, Kendall Gray, the also Evolve champion. Ren taking on Sol because of some comments that were made on Deadline about Ren and then Zarya and stuff. So Sol kind of being a little heelish, I'd say, being a little self-absorbent, and that's how we got here. Really quick, fast action here between the two of them. Eventually, Sol hits her springboard X Factor for a 2 count. Ren comes back with some great submission wrestling. I guess she learned from Charles here with the nice leg locks and attempts here. We see now Zarya in the rafters. Well, kind of in this gym or warehouse, but in the crowd, I guess you could say. Zarya watching on. We see a bunch of kicks from Sol here, a series of kicks to the midsection, and then Ren fights out of all these attacks and then hits a very nice butterfly suplex for a 2 count, but eventually gets this like arm back crank that sends Ren into the turnbuckle, which is a setup for the Soul Snatcher, and she snatches her soul and Sol Ruca wins the match here. And then Zarya walks off, but then Sol chases her. It's like a rom-com here. Like, just, no, wait, I wanted to talk to you. And Zarya's like, oh, and it's Beauty and the Beast or something. But Sol wins. Pretty quick work of Ren Sinclair, but Ren still showing. I think they could be doing so much more with Ren. Now, obviously, they are with her partner, Kendall Gray, as we'll get into the next kind of segment here that involves her. But just the little snippets of Ren makes me remember, she's good.
Every time we see her, and she doesn't get too much ring time, but she always impresses. And at least she's given stuff as a character every week on TV. But she's kind of been in this jobber role quite a long time, and it felt a year ago, wasn't it? It was the Iron Survivor a year ago. It felt like they were really gonna give her a little push after, and she's kind of stayed at the same level. And I would like to see more from Ren, because I think she's great.
Yeah, no, I think she is too. And the whole Ren QCC stuff is definitely working for me. But we'll get more on Sol and Zarya a bit later. But Fatal Influence make their way to the ring. And this is the three of them now in the ring with Kendall and Ren. And JC Jane, NXT Women's Champ, has a microphone. She goes, oh, congratulations, Kendall, on winning the Iron Survivor. It's the little Cinderella story, right? Oh, you did it finally. And everyone knows Kendall Gray's stock is rising. And I'm sure you felt all the love and support of everyone after Saturday. And you realize this is why we do this. Only for me to remind you, your time is up. And your stocks are about to crash. You're going to hit a downward spiral, which is kind of like Kendall's finishing move. She says people are going to move on from you just like they always do. You, Kendall Gray, are the flavor of the month. And everyone knows 2025 was JC Jane's year. I went from underappreciated, overlooked, to being the champ. And you, Kendall, you're just a bootleg Kurt Angle with a ponytail. Ooh, she says, and I don't care if you're going to steal someone's spot, but you're not stealing my spot, sweetheart. You're just a rookie. And Kendall says, is it my turn to talk now? Okay, good. Well, she says, I even surprised myself, and I didn't think I would win, but I did. And I showed that I can rise to the occasion. And when I face you at New Year's Evil, this underdog bites back. And then Ren steps in and says, yeah, maybe Ren QCC will get more than one just title. We already have two titles, the Evolve title. Then we'll get the NXT title, and then points at Fallon's Speed title. I forgot that Fallon had that, and says, we're going to even maybe take that. When Fallon's like, oh, no, never. And Laney steps in like, oh, you better step in line. And then they all attack Ren QCC. Ren does manage to fight them off a little bit there. But yeah, the three of them on the two of them, with them kind of fighting them off and standing tall here. But a big promo battle and then a brawl to hype up the New Year's Evil match. But yeah.
When are we going to have Carmen officially join this group so we can have a 3-on-3 here?
True, right. Yeah, the karate master, karate expert.
And I'd like to see Ren win this title from Fallon as well.
That would be cool. Yeah, completely forgot about this title. But
Kendall keeps on impressing. I thought she sounded pretty good here on the mic. I thought she held her own with JC, who at this point has become a very confident promo in NXT. Do you see Kendall being the one to take the title from JC?
I mean, we were both pretty blown away with that match on Saturday and the fact that she was the one to win. So at this point, I would totally put it on her. She's been fantastic to watch. She's like cleared some of these people, earlier in that segment with Blake Monroe, when you had all these women answering the open challenge, it had a lot of people like your Evolve talent and some people we're not super familiar with, but it also had people like Nikita Lyons, right? And characters we've seen for what feels like years now, not advance and not like get better. Whereas Kendall Gray feels like she just showed up and all of a sudden we're like, oh shit. So the joke about the Kurt Angle thing, I've been seeing so many memes. In fact, I sent you one earlier today where someone put Kurt Angle's face on her face. And it's like, yeah, look how quickly all of a sudden people are like, yo, who's this? So it worked. When we first saw her on NXT TV, we were like the same thing. So yeah, I would poke her to win the
She
title.
feels like a Roxanne Perez, like just came in, like Roxanne won the breakout tournament, won the title right away. This feels similar, and I'd go with it. I'd absolutely go with it.
100%.
She doesn't have to have a long reign. You can have someone else destroy her for it later down, but I think you should ride this momentum right now with Kendall.
It instantly refreshes the title scene for 2026. It makes her a character. Like, I think she could be someone to easily be on the main roster. Like, the promo here was fine. She kind of said some generic stuff, underdog and everything, but that's what this character is right now. And I don't know, going forward, I think we could see her become a pretty big star in WWE for sure. And it's crazy how quickly it works like that. Like, think we have a stacked roster here in NXT. Just look at the women's Iron Survivor, Kelani Jordan Grace tonight. That match, either of those two could be women's champion at this point. Sol Ruka could be champion at this point. There's so many other people that could be. And now Kendall Gray has just slid in this slot. We're like, yeah, actually, wait, let's go with her. Yeah. And I would love to see that. So maybe a heel Jordynne Grace down the line versus the babyface Kendall Gray. That could be good.
Like, I feel like you mentioned it earlier and I kind of brushed it off, but thinking about it, the amount Jordynne Grace has lost since coming into NXT, that probably will happen. That she'll just have enough and become a baddie.
Kelani Jordan versus Kendall Gray one-on-one could be good. Like, we saw some of those matches in that Iron Survivor video, but awesome. So that match is New Year's Evil, JC and Kendall, but maybe we get Fallon and Ren sooner rather than later for the Speed Championship, if anyone's caring about the Speed title. We get a video for Hank and Tank. They it's kind of similar to the video they played for Deadline, so I won't necessarily recap. But
they different stuff. Me. The website said Hank and Tank return tonight.
Yeah, they lied.
The Twitter says they return tonight. We just got another video of them being like, "Hey, we've never been on a plane before.
Okay,
we've never gone overseas."
Okay, I'm a white dude who traveled to Japan, so who am I to gatekeep? But the video on Deadline, when it showed them in Japan speaking to the crowd, I think they were saying goodbye. It was Tank who, in my opinion, butchered the easiest thing to say. And if you don't need to speak Japanese, but you'll know that arigatou gozaimasu, you say that a lot. It's basically thanks. Okay. He butchered it. And I was like, oh, that was weird. Why did he pronounce it that way? Tonight, right away, he says it the right way. So clearly, someone was like, yo, man, you're kind of saying it wrong. But like the easiest thing, everyone knows that one. But I like these videos. Them in Japan having a good time. They're Yakutas. The one they show up in. So they play this video, and then it cuts to Kelly backstage with Hank and Tank wearing their Yakutas, their kimonos. Yeah. And the one Hank is wearing is identical to the one that I now have. So shout out Hank. Very nice one. So they say that they had a blast being in Japan, but they're very excited to be back. They say arigatou gozaimasu. They say another culture was beautiful. They both never even left the U.S. before this trip. So I think that's pretty cool. They say they refer to themselves now as the Belly Boys, which I think is a fantastic name. The Belly Boys won some gold. The Belly Boys lost some gold. But we're back and excited to be back here. And they're interrupted. Your favorite team. OTM walk in. This got a pop out from Tank, who says, Konich. Hey, boys. He shortened Konichiwa. But you know the one I've been saying, Konichi Wagwan? That's the Japan meets Scarborough man's talk, but I liked Tank's Konich. OTM did not like this as much as I did, and they kind of run them down, saying like, you guys suck. Why, you shouldn't have come back, essentially, and you lost the tag titles in NXT. So why you get back in line, because OTM are back. And that's when Hank says, oh, it looks like you guys want to tussle with the tummy. You want to tussle with the tummy, the Belly Boys? Well, next week we'll put the hockey jerseys back on. So Hank and Tank versus Out the Mud next week on NXT. But Hank and Tank found their swag in Japan. They found something. They found a good name of Belly Boys. The tummy, I don't know. Maybe
I hope they steamroll OTM next week. Just they've gone to Japan.
Too.
They're gonna
burning hammers, lariatos, brainbuster,
chops, forearm exchanges, the lot.
I better see some crazy shit from some death match, some thumbtacks. Hank and Tank are gonna wreck these dudes next week. Wouldn't it suck? Okay, they must see something in OTM. They just came back. They're on a winning streak. But I wouldn't have OTM beat Hank and Tank. They're at least a viable team. They're former champs here.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree.
That's kind of
100% agree.
I know you don't like OTM, but I don't really either. And I don't think Hank and Tank should be losing to them because we really don't have tag teams on NXT other than the champs. So, and these guys, I guess. But yeah, Hank and Tank, the Belly Boys, back in action next week for reals this time, for realsies. Konich. We go from that to Blake is upset. She walks into Ava's office. She says, I can't believe you did this. And Ava says, but you're the one who came up with this. She goes, no, you did this. I was like a piece of meat in a shark-infested waters. And she goes, no more open challenges ever for this title. And mentions that witch, Thea Hale. So I imagine we get this match, which in fact, I think it is announced next week, Thea Hale versus Blake.
Again, Ava's just terrible. No, just as a manager, no other, anyone else doing an open challenge, they wouldn't send the whole roster down there. Yeah. She set her up. And also, why is Ava so against open challenges anyway? Yeah. Because she ain't John Cena? I don't know. It's weird.
Ava, just do your job.
Yeah.
Just do your job. We go from that. We get Zarya leaving the performance center when Sol Ruka comes running after her. No, Zarya, wait. What were you doing here? And Zarya says, I'm sorry. I just wanted to support you. I just wanted to watch. Good luck with Bailey. And tries to walk again. And Sol's like, no, please. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Just good luck on Saturday with your match. And goes, no, I want you to be there. What? Do you mean it? I feel like I'm watching Rachel and Ross. Do you mean it? Yes, I mean it. Okay, well, let's hug it out. So they hug it out. They both say they're sorry. And Zarya says that she will be in her corner on Saturday for her match against Bailey. And then Sol says, hey, let's go get some sweet treats. You got Kung Pao chicken, coconut water, and sweet treats on my NXT tonight. What do you think these sweet treats she speaks of? Dessert somewhere?
Like ice cream? Something?
Yeah. They must have some good ice cream spots in Orlando, right? I guess. I don't know.
Probably. But I think them coming together, I think the end is soon, right? The fact that they just made up, they're hugging it out, they're best friends again. One of them's going to kill the other very soon.
Yes. The inevitable breakup will be sad, but coming soon. Next week, Fatal 4-Way, number one contenders match, like we said, Joe Hendry, Leon Slater, Dion Lennox, and Miles Bourne. And then Blake Monroe versus Thea Hale, and then Hank and Tank OTM. And then I'm sure some other stuff and some fallout from Saturday night's main event as well. But we go to our main event of the evening, NXT Championship on the line. The new champ, Oba Femi, two-time, putting his title on the line against the Iron Survivor winner, Javon Evans, face-to-face in the ring. This match starts off. Javon right away goes for his triple jump cutter, but it's blocked by Oba. But then Javon hits a running Busaiku knee, is I guess what that was, right?
Yeah.
For a 2.9. I almost jumped out of my seat, as did the people in the crowd here.
I always love the tease of a shock quick win. Like finishes right off the bat and like, oh shit, is this happening? Especially when you're looking at the clock and realize this match only has about 12 minutes. You're like, oh, we could have a surprise win and an angle maybe. But yeah, great start to this match.
So I'm hype. The crowd is hype. Everyone's ready for this near fall here. They were like, oh shit, this could have happened. This is when he goes for the triple jump again, but gets just slugged here by Oba. He's slamming with these big forearm shots. Eventually he hits his big kick, but still not enough to keep Oba down. Oba hits a backbreaker and then holds him for another one and does the best described as what, like the JBL putting out the smoke. putting out the cigarette, the joint. I don't know what he was doing here, but a little bit of the Scott Hall throwing away the cigarette, and then hits a backbreaker on Javon here for a 2 count. Eventually, Javon goes to springboard again, but Oba drops him face first off to the apron, allowing Javon to get back up and hit a huge moonsault to the outside. But Oba kind of catches him, and then they continue to chop each other down as it goes into picture-in-picture. But during that picture-in-picture, Oba is in control again. He ends up getting a Rana to the outside and then runs at Javon at the commentary desk when we're back here. And Booker T doing his best tuck and roll here because he is just milliseconds away from Obafemi landing on him, because you imagine a size of Obafemi just running towards you, and Booker just taking some bumps and some dives, dodging here. And Oba barely makes the 8 count, the 9 count into the ring. And as he does, Javon hits a splash to the back, which sets him up for another 5-star frog splash. But Oba kicks out. There's a big punch back and forth between the two of them, and then ends up sending Oba to the outside with the huge overhead dive from Javon. But eventually, Oba then hits his forearm in the ring, and then Javon comes back with the German, but Oba no-sells this, the soul of Ishii in Obafemi here, taking that German and then just standing up being like, no, but is hit with a cutter from Javon, and then another one, but Oba kicks out. There's then a huge uppercut from Oba, the throw, and then the fall from Grace is countered into a cutter again, and then Javon Evans has him ready, has him where he wants him, and Javon Evans hits the triple jump cutter. The ref counts 1, 2, but the ref disappears. The camera stays on Javon and Oba, and you just see the ref gone. And then finally, when Javon looks over, the camera pans. Who could it be? It's Ricky. Ricky Saints pulled the referee out. The referee is like, yo, bro, what the hell are you doing? Javon is like, what are you doing? So Javon dives to the outside onto Ricky to take him out. He runs back in the ring with the ref, but he eats the clothesline from Oba, and then the fall from Grace. Obafemi pins Javon Evans to retain the NXT title, all because of Ricky Saints. Oh, Ricky. He screwed Javon here. And then Vic Joseph, who got a chuckle out of me. Who could have seen this coming? I think actually a lot of people because of that opening promo segment. But it's wrestling, so good shit. I thought this was a lot of fun.
I thought this was great. They gave Javon so much here. Like, it was as if Javon was going to really convincingly beat Obafemi in this match, which obviously that's what they're going to play is Javon, I had it. I should be champion, and can obviously do the rematch down the line. They definitely led you in this direction from the opening segment to Ricky not being considered in the number 1 contendership match next week. But I like it. I think Ricky as a heel makes a whole lot of sense. Javon on the chase. You should really peak that at Stand and Deliver, I think, with Javon. But I am still just, as I said earlier, just questioning who is moving up, when are they moving up, because it's just the same cast for quite a while. But I thought this match was excellent.
Awesome main event here. I mean, the last time we saw Javon and Oba was a stellar match as well, but this had a lot less time being a TV main event. I mean, with entrances, the ending plus the commercial break, if you will, in between, like only 12 something minutes or something like that.
Javon is one of the best people though to have in that situation. Like, you got 12 minutes, go out and do it, because it was just so so fast paced. You know, sometimes you watch these main events and you just feel robbed because they don't have enough time. Yeah. But I think Javon just maximizes that time with how spectacular he is. And it made it just a really exciting sprint of a match.
I mean, he's the true star of NXT. I mean, Oba's been champ for a year plus, on and off, whatever. And before that, the streak or whatever. But for me, in the last year, Javon is the centerpiece here. Like, he's the guy they should be focusing everything around. he's the guy that should, if you want to hold this off, if you keep Javon versus Ricky for New Year's Evil now, and that 4-way, or does Ricky face Oba at New Year's Evil instead? I don't know where they go with this direction. Maybe they do stick with that 4-way.
Well, you'll probably have what I imagine Dion against Oba.
Okay, right.
Evil. And you
then
probably have
Ricky
versus Javon at New Year's Evil. I would have Ricky win that.
And then rematch at Vengeance Day.
With Oba at Vengeance Day. And then you can have Javon, like whoever he's facing, whether it's Oba or Ricky.
You think they do like a triple threat like they did with Trick, Javon, and Oba?
Maybe.
But Rick?
Yeah, maybe.
Right. Like the end game of Stand and Deliver weekend in Vegas should be Javon finally winning the NXT title.
Yeah.
We kind of said that last year. We kind of said that this year, but it's like, if you're not calling these people up WrestleMania season, then these people will be around maybe. And if they are, then we got to use Ricky. Ricky could win the title back and then Javon gets it from him. But I think the story is like Javon had Oba here. So eventually he's got to face him one-on-one again and finally top that mountain, finally, conquer the Destroyer, essentially.
Yeah.
I think that's the big story. Like if you were to ask me months out here, this is December, but if you were to say Stand and Deliver is the biggest NXT show of the year because it's WrestleMania weekend, et cetera, that's the big match. That's the big story. Oba versus Javon one more time. Stand and Deliver. Would you not just do that again? I would.
Yeah,
after watching this tonight, I'm like, I'd watch this again with more time given. So
yeah, it's whether you want a bigger heel for Javon to overcome, and whether that's whether you turn Oba or you just have the title go back to Ricky, or you could do the 3-way. But I wonder if Ricky and Oba will still be around by WrestleMania.
We will see, but that'll be definitely when Javon finally does it. But for me, he is my favorite. Like if you just say best wrestler or character for NXT, this guy clears everyone for me, and he's not even the champ, and he is losing again. But like, love him, and he's had a crazy 2025, and he is only 21, which is bonkers to me. But I really like this episode of NXT. Like, if you've listened to us, we're always completely brutally honest. We got no dog in the fight. We just watch wrestling and talk about it and give our thoughts. But NXT can break me on Tuesday nights. NXT can be a whole lot of not good stuff sometimes. And this was not one of those times. I was really surprised with some of the stuff on this show. Like the fallout from the past show, you had the story of making me wonder, where are we going? Obafemi just won it back. Ricky Saints now being a heel. He costed Javon the title here. We got to go into that program and that feud. And like, that's pretty interesting. Plus, I got some real solid wrestling. I really loved Jordynne Grace and Kelani Jordan, and I really loved the main event of Javon and Obafemi. So honestly, solid show. Like, dare I say, maybe even like this more than Deadline, but Deadline did have the women's Iron Survivor match, which was pretty banging.
I think across the two shows, which were really close together, there were some great matches. Yeah. Awesome
stuff in the last few days from NXT. Like Shawn Mike, good. Hopefully we can keep this momentum going into New Year and the New Year's Evil. But fun stuff from NXT. We can look ahead. You think Dion, Oba, Ricky, Javon at New Year's Evil, and we'll see what else gets added there. But fun stuff from NXT tonight. Do we have any feedback?
Let's have a look.
I feel like maybe we don't. But that's okay if we don't.
I threw
no one was watching.
Sorry, I didn't have this loaded up.
It's okay. Neither did I.
So I don't think so. Let's say no, or they loved it.
Well, there you go. That was NXT. We talk about NXT every Tuesday night here at Post Wrestling, 10:05 or 10:09 p.m. We will be here as always, and we do a whole lot more. As we said, this is up next, but we are Poisonrana. Visit Poisonrana.ca for links of everything that we do. We have a Facebook page, an Instagram, a Twitter, Blue Sky, and a free podcast feed. Check out our weekly shows, including Poisonrana Live this upcoming Sunday, 2 p.m. We will talk all about John Cena's final match and everything else from Saturday night's main event, including all the NXT showdowns and main roster battles, all the stuff that's happening this Saturday, plus the Continental Classic, some AE dubs, and so much more. And on the free feed, The Champ is Here, episode 13, The Rock and John Cena. So tons of free podcasts available this week. Search Poison Rana and give us a follow. And for more, patreon.com/Poisonrana, our GoldenEye review, our War Games, the new episode of Champ is Here, and so much more on the Patreon. And appreciate everyone out there listening. Hope you're having a good night, and we will talk very, very soon. The last time is now. Get your feels in. We're old. John Cena's retiring. That's it. He only retires once. So after this, you won't see him. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye. Be safe. And are you drinking coconut water? What are you drinking there? What are you drinking there?
Kung Pao chicken. Ahoy!